This video, we will call our user service from our tutorial service, but without hard coding the URL. Okay. So if you remember, we were able to call the user APIs from the tutorial service with the help of REST template. Okay. Before we had this concept of discovery server. Okay. This was, I think, 3 to 4 videos back. If you are following all videos from my playlist. Okay. So we hard coded the URL or endpoint of the user service based on what data was needed, and then we were able to get the data from user service inside tutorial service. But that is what we discussed, that is the disadvantage if we want to uh, you know get hold of some other service. How do we do that? That is where discovery server came into picture. And now we'll see how we can do this without hard coding and using uh, concepts like uh, discovery server and discovery client. Okay, so we already have the discovery server up and running on port 8761, just to recap. Okay, and then we have our user service uh, which has been connected to the user DB, okay, which is running on port 8001, and it has been registered with our discovery server. Okay, and then we have our third service known as tutorial service, uh, which is running on, which is currently not running. I'll change its server port to 8002, and we were able to call the user service APIs with REST template. Now, how do we do this without hard coding? Okay, using our Eureka client. So first thing is, we need not to use or get the data from another service which is being registered in discovery server. Tutorial service need not get registered with the discovery server. Okay, so registry related application properties could be false, or they are not even required. What we need to do though is add this annotation, enable discovery client. This is required for client. Okay. So that is not coming because we don't have that dependency included in the form.xml file. So let's first get that dependency from form.xml, which is this one. Okay, let's go to tutorial service form.xml. Let's paste this dependency. Let Maven resolve the dependency, in the background. Once it does that, we have to include that annotation, enable discovery client. That is required for us to use discovery server. Although we don't want to register tutorial service as a service on the server. Okay, so both are two different things. That is why we require that configuration to be done in the application.property level, but this annotation is required in our main class. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Well, we will see that annotation appearing now. Okay, so this is done. Okay, now let's go to our controller. Let's get the client auto wired. Okay, okay, so the dependency which we just included, we are able to get this Eureka client object. Okay, inject this Eureka client object. Now, using this object, what we are going to do is you have to call this function get next server from Eureka. Okay. And what we need to give here is the name of the service whose URL we need. Okay. So instead of we knowing the URL, which requires us to know the base URL and then the port and so on and so forth, the instances and so on and so forth, instead of that, we just need the name. Okay. So let's get the name of our service, which is the user service. Okay. Let's go to tutorial service and instance. Expects two arguments. Okay. Put the other one. Okay. So this is what is needed to get the instance info object. Basically, this gives you the instance info object here. Now, with instance info, you can get the home page URL. Just search for get home page URL, and this gives you the home page URL, which you hard coded. Okay. So just remove this, just like this, users URL. Rest template we will still require for us to, write this line of code. Okay. So don't remove the rest template related line. Just include this line after we inject the Eureka client. Okay. Just keep it more simple. Let's put the rest template related lines here. Okay. That's it. So instead of this hard coding, we have added these two lines of code. This gives us the homepage URL. And what we need to do here is this will give me this, the URL with the port name. So I need to add the remaining part, the remaining part of the API. Okay, I've added this. And then here, and let's do the same thing. Mentored. This will become plus. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's run this service. Let's see if there are any errors or we are fine. Okay, so it is up and running on showing. Although tutorial service is not registered with the discovery server. Okay. Uh, Now let's check out if our API is working. So let's first get all the users. So here instead of 8001, it should be 8002 because our tutorial service is running on port 8002. Okay, so we are able to get the two users. Okay, here. So which means this API is working. It would have called the API here inside tutorial service. Okay. Or it would have basically called the controller directly. I'm sorry. Yeah, and executed these lines of code. Okay. Second thing which we want to check is the user related. That gives me the user with ID 3. Let's check on the user with ID 8 as well, which means it has properly called this API also. Uh, and if I give some other ID, it would not give me any output because we have not handled that as such. Like we have not put any try and catch or handled cases when a particular ID is not found and so on and so forth. Okay. We are only talking about the basics right now. Okay. So hope it's clear how we can make use of Discovery Server or Eureka client object to get the homepage URL for that service. We just need to know the name of the service which is registered on that server. Okay. And with that, we can get the homepage URL. And then if we know the other parts of the endpoint, then we can call that API or those APIs to get the data from that service. Okay, that's what I wanted to cover in this video. Hope it was informative. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Hope you like the video. Uh, for the code, link is there in the description. And if you need any help in building large scale software solutions or AI automation solutions, you can get on a quick consultation call. Again, link is there in the description. So until next time, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.